The movie starts with Maximo calling his son Ander to see if he's ready to leave Barcelona after work. Maximo heads to a Colombian drug plant, while Lucero, Maximo's brother, goes inside to talk business with Romeo, the factory owner. Maximo and his friend Rafa wait in the car. Lucero aims to secure support for his father's bid to lead criminal groups in Europe, with the condition that Romeo's son gets a key position. Meanwhile, Lucero's father and Maria, his sister, are en route to elections starting soon. Instead of money, Romeo finds his son's head in the bag, triggering a shootout between Lucero's crew and Romeo's men. After some casualties, Lucero instructs Rafa to inform his father that Romeo fled, claiming the elections were a setup. Lucero then commands Maximo to eliminate Romeo's men and the factory workers. Although Maximo dislikes Lucero's ruthless approach, especially towards unarmed workers, he remains loyal to his family and Lucero's father, whom he regards as his own kin. After discovering that his father would soon arrive at the factory, Lucero urges Maximo to leave and begin anew with his son. Shortly after, Lucero's father shows up and is enraged by Lucero's actions. Despite previously sending Lucero to Japan to learn about loyalty and self-respect, he returned with a knowledge of the Yakuza's brutality. During their conversation, Lucero abruptly orders a hitman to eliminate his father's bodyguards, including Maria. Sensing danger, Maria escapes before they can harm her. Lucero then aims a gun at his father, intending to usurp his position. Before carrying out the deed, he expresses his resentment towards his father for favoring Maria and Maximo over him, despite being his biological son. He gives his father the choice between a shot to the head or the heart, to which his father chooses the former. Lucero complies with his father's wishes. Later, Chulmu informs him that Maria successfully evaded capture. Upon returning home, Maximo embraces his son and then passes the house key to the nanny, unaware that she exchanges it with a mysterious man for cash. Meanwhile, while Ander plays the guitar, he detects an intruder in their home. Maximo instructs Ander to conceal himself. Shortly after, a gang assaults Maximo's residence. Initially, Maximo holds his ground against them single-handedly, but the situation worsens when a man named Finito appears. Finito shoots Maximo from behind and ruthlessly kills Ander before his father's eyes. Following the incident, Finito swiftly reported to Lucero about his actions. Surprisingly, it was Lucero who orchestrated the murder of Maximo and his son. As he departs, Finito detonates an explosion at Maximo's residence to erase any evidence. 2 years later, we observe Leo, a young man, bonding with his girlfriend, Daniela. Despite his role as a campus drug dealer, Leo and Daniela stumble upon an abandoned garage where they discover Maximo, alive and engaged in rigorous physical training and martial arts practice. In the evening, Leo returned home and handed over the money he made from selling drugs to his mother, who was unaware of his illicit activities. Additionally, he gifted his brother for his birthday. Shortly afterward, Leo got a call from his supplier, Dro, who was revealed to be affiliated with Lucero. Dro requested Leo to distribute drugs in a zone controlled by Russian gangsters, despite Leo's reluctance due to the danger involved. However, Dro coerced Leo into complying, leaving him with no alternative. Leo successfully sells multiple bundles of heroin before getting apprehended by the Russians. They assault him in a secluded alley, caution him against peddling drugs in their territory, and issue death threats. Coincidentally, Maximo passes by the alley and intervenes, engaging the Russians in a physical altercation before swiftly departing. Leo trails Maximo until he arrives at the abandoned garage where Maximo used to reside. There, Leo expresses gratitude to Maximo for his assistance while Maximo attends to Leo's injuries. Leo inquired about playing the guitar, expressing interest. Maximo revealed that the guitar once belonged to his deceased son Ander, clarifying that he couldn't play it himself. Reflecting on his son's memory, Maximo recalled the traumatic events he witnessed and harbored a strong determination to seek vengeance against Lucero. However, Lucero had vanished, leaving his whereabouts unknown. The following day, Leo proposed a deal to Maximo, suggesting he'd teach Maximo self-defense in exchange for guitar lessons. Maximo accepted the arrangement and commenced by instructing Leo on fundamental fighting techniques. Before parting ways, Leo left his contact information for Maximo to reach out if needed, bidding farewell with a gesture reminiscent of Maximo's late son, Ander. Lucero is engaging in risky activities with his business associates, and afterward confides in Rafa about his plan to return to Barcelona to assume leadership of the mafia, currently under Dimitri's control, the Russian mobster. Meanwhile, while Leo is at school, Giro contacts him, urging him to return and distribute drugs in the Russian territory. Despite Leo's refusal and hanging up the call, he ventures into the Russian area later that night, coinciding with Jairo and his associates' absence. Spotting Jaro, Leo attempts to flee, but his efforts are futile as Jaro apprehends him, inflicting severe injuries and fracturing Leo's hand after discovering Leo had stolen money from him. The following day, Maximo was taken aback to see Daniela at the garage entrance, searching for Leo. She explains that Leo took the money he made from selling drugs, suggesting Giro's involvement in his disappearance. Maximo reaches out to Leo, arranging a meeting where he discloses all the details. Seeking assistance for Leo, Maximo approaches Maria, only to be reminded of their previous scheme and the imminent mafia boss elections. Later that evening, Giro and his crew infiltrate a nightclub belonging to a Russian gang. Unbeknownst to them, Maximo had been tailing Jairo, seeking vengeance for Leo. Maximo easily overpowers Dro, prompting one of his men to recognize Maximo and flee. Maximo defeats Jairo's crew and fractures his hand, mirroring the injury Leo suffered. Following that, he visits Maria's residence to check on Leo's well-being and provide martial arts instruction to Maria. Meanwhile, Finito heads to Jairo's residence, ridiculing him for his predicament. Giro informs Finito that the assailant who attacked him is known as Gladiator. Upon hearing this, Finito realizes that the attacker, Maximo, is still alive. Finito eliminates Jairo and interrogates his associates about the whereabouts of Maximo and Leo. Meanwhile, despite Maria and Maximo's warnings, Leo, having recovered, opts to return home. Maximo escorts Leo to his residence to ensure his safety. However, Leo is shocked to discover that his younger brother, along with his mother and grandfather, has perished. Just as they are about to execute Leo, Finito arrives. Maximo intervenes, saving Leo from harm. Maximo engages in a fierce altercation with Finito and his cohorts, yet Finito eludes capture. Maximo escorts Leo back to Maria's residence. As Maria tends to Maximo's injuries, he discloses to her that Finito is aware of his survival, much to Maria's dismay as it jeopardizes their retribution scheme. Maria approaches Leo, who is distraught and blames himself for his family's demise. Despite Maria's efforts to console him, Leo's anguish compels him to seclude himself in his room. Maximo returns to his living quarters in the garage, and Maria alerts him about Finito's presence. Prepared to confront Finito's associates, Maximo employs his combat prowess to swiftly incapacitate them. Subsequently, Maria furnishes Maximo with intelligence regarding Urquiza, the individual overseeing Lucero's illicit financial activities, who is located in a nightclub. Maximo attempted to access the club, but it was closed. Undeterred, Maximo eliminated the guards and Urquiza's associates one by one. Maria informed Maximo that the funds would reach Lucero before the election, with the delivery truck scheduled to arrive in 20 minutes. While Maximo confronted Urquiza's men, Urquiza attempted to flee, but Maximo pursued and subdued him. Subsequently, Maximo utilized Urquiza's phone to notify Lucero before absconding with the money. Following these events, Rafa encountered Urquiza and was visibly astonished by the scene at the club. Urquiza divulged all the details, including the letter and the mobile phone he had provided. As Maria attempted to extract the bullet from Maximo's wounds sustained in the club, Maximo declined the operation, fearing Lucero's imminent arrival and desiring to confront him upon his arrival. Concerned about Maximo's well-being, Leo administered an anesthetic to facilitate the bullet removal by Maria. Meanwhile, Lucero arrived in Barcelona and instructed Rafa to escort him to Urquiza, dissatisfied with the information obtained. Lucero ruthlessly eliminated Urquiza. Conversely, Leo covertly retrieved Maria's firearm while she slept, departing after discovering Urquiza's location via tracking devices. Upon arrival, he aimed his firearm at two individuals preparing to dispose of Urquiza's body. Suddenly, Finito barged in and dealt Leo a severe blow. Chulmu was taken aback upon hearing Leo's confident assertion that Maximo would rescue him. As Finito poised to eliminate Leo, Maria intervened by striking Finito and rushing Leo to the hospital. En route, she attempted to contact Maximo, but he remained unresponsive due to unconsciousness. Unbeknownst to Maria, one of Finito's accomplices trailed her to the hospital and alerted Finito of her location. Upon discovering Maximo's survival, the Russian commanded Finito to execute him immediately. Meanwhile, Chulmu entered Maria's residence and was greeted by Maximo, who had finally regained consciousness. Chulmu expressed his desire for Maximo to assume leadership and replace his father, citing Maximo's departure from criminal activities and his commitment to a new life with his son. He pledged allegiance to Lucero. A heated confrontation ensued between the two. Subsequently, Maximo inquired about Lucero's whereabouts, but Chulmu's response triggered Maximo's anger, leading him to fatally stab Chulmu. He then visited Leo in the hospital before heading to confront Lucero. Upon learning of Maximo's return, Rafa informed Lucero. Maximo systematically eliminated Lucero's associates, and upon encountering Rafa, aided him in targeting Lucero. However, a sudden grenade thrown by one of Lucero's men resulted in Rafa's demise due to the explosion. Maximo finally encounters Lucero, who explains that his actions were fueled by their father's favoritism towards Maximo and Maria over him. A fierce brawl ensues between the two, and just as Maximo nearly eliminates his brother, Finito intervenes, holding Maria hostage, diverting Maximo's attention, leading to his defeat by Lucero. Maria attempts to retaliate against Finito but collapses unconscious. Lucero commands Finito to execute Maximo while he prepares to harm Maria. Unexpectedly, Maximo rises and swiftly dispatches Finito with a single strike. Subsequently, Maria regains consciousness and joins the fray, attacking Lucero. Maximo also engages in the assault, ultimately delivering a fatal blow to Lucero with a stab to the heart and a gunshot to the head. Following Lucero's demise, they retrieve Leo from the hospital and secure Lucero's funds. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell if you want to watch more videos like this. Thank you for watching and see you again soon. Take care.